Moving up in your sterile processing career can be so rewarding, but also be one of the most difficult things you can do. Setting yourself apart in the correct ways is a key factor to your success. And failing to have a winning strategy can cost you a lot of time and money, and well, maybe even leaving you taking all the debris out of the sterilizer traps every morning. You've put in your time, you've done your job, you've had mostly stellar attendance, yet promotion eludes you like that coworker who constantly dodges the difficult trays. Do you really want to get promoted? Are you sure? Well, if you do want to get promoted, I have the strategy that'll get you there. Hey, Sterile Processing Professionals, Brandon the Sterile Guy here, and in today's video, we are gonna talk promotion. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you all my strategies, but I'm gonna start with the easy, obvious stuff right up front, which we usually call the low-hanging fruit. This is the basic stuff that honestly, most people fail to achieve or even just overlook, and it automatically ends up excluding them from promotion. And after that, I'm gonna jump into the nitty-gritty of the stuff that is actually gonna set you up for promotion. And this isn't some cheesy video where I'm regurgitating stuff to do to get promoted that you've heard before. You're gonna hear stuff in this video you've never thought of, and these are the things that are key to set you directly on that path to promotion, and they don't have anything to do with your attendance and your performance. There are 7 critical things I'm gonna share with you in this video, and believe me, the closer and closer we get to 7, the more and more critical these things are. So don't skip any of these because they all rely on each other in one way or another, and you need all 7 to make sure you're set apart. So here we go. Number 1, right up front, the basics. So right up front, you need to have good attendance, you need to have no disciplinary actions, you need to have a good attitude, and you need to have efficient work, which means speedy, but also have good work, which means done properly and to standard without errors. And if possible, you need to volunteer for anything that can be seen as some type of leadership or supervisory kind of position or task. Anything exhibiting leadership, especially with successful outcomes, is a positive. Do you have an SPD committee of some time? Get on it. Do you have some kind of joint OR SPD committee who maybe reviews preference cards, discusses needs for upcoming cases, or any other quality type of meeting? Then get on it. Showing this initiative, especially if it has to do with quality or working with the OR, is going to quickly put you on the path to success, but also put you in the spotlight for leadership roles. Number 2, you absolutely need formal training. Are there SPD leaders out there who haven't been formally trained? Yes, there are still some, unfortunately, but those types of leaders are quickly being replaced by knowledgeable and formally trained technicians. A hospital might hire within someone who isn't formally trained if they can show expert competence and knowledge and dedication to the job. But someone internally who has those qualities and formal education is always going to be number 1. Leadership does not have the time or capacity to understand proper disinfection or sterilization or what it takes to run an efficient SPD. They need a leader they can truly rely on that knows the standards inside and out. And if you don't have formal training, I have a quick and easy way for you to accomplish that task and check that box. Follow the first link in the description to sign up for the Preppy Sterile Processing course, which you can pass in as little as 4 months. And you'll earn a certificate of completion from Auburn University, highly respected. Do not skip over this step. You will find yourself interviewing for a job and be passed over because you didn't take this simple step. Don't be lazy and get formally trained. Worst case scenario, you learn more stuff you didn't know, which only helps you be more prepared. Number 3, certification. And no, I am not talking about the simple CRCST. You should already have that. Everyone expects you to have the CRCST. It's the basic certification that says you know how to do your job. I'm saying at least have the CHL, but preferably also the CIS. The CIS is one of the hardest exams to pass because it pulls from a plethora of information. It pulls from all the specialties of instruments, all the ways in which you have to keep the integrity of the instruments and process, sterilize, disinfect instruments, and it pulls from all the general CRCST info as well. CIS is all about quality and how to properly care for, disinfect, sterilize, sharpen, and maintain surgical instrumentation, which is the absolute core of this job. Surgical instruments also account for the greatest value within a sterile processing department, which means they also account for the greatest cost in replacement. So the more you know about taking care of instruments, the better you are at saving money and having a quality production for your leaders and for Joint Commission inspections. Number 4, I alluded to this earlier as far as leadership having confidence in you, but you must have in-depth knowledge of AAMI ST79 2017. And if a new version comes out, you need to be proactive and get in touch with that one as well. Do you think an OR director or an operating officer reads AAMI ST79? Do you think a CEO understands AAMI ST79? Hell no. And they sure as hell don't want to. By you knowing the standards inside and out, you're doing them a favor. They're allowed to sleep better at night because they trust that you know what you're doing. You need to show them that you can provide them that confidence. And don't be the leaders who are asking questions on the Facebook page unless you've absolutely put in the time to try to find the answers. You need to fully understand the actual standards. Don't just take advice from people throwing out answers on Facebook. Seriously, it's embarrassing. Number 5, you need to have in-depth knowledge of the operating room and practices of the OR. If you don't truly understand how the OR works and all the issues and challenges that they face, how can you truly support them in their work and their cause? As a closest ally. Those nurses might act like the doctors are their best friends, but rest assured, they're being bullied too. It's the shit rolls downhill principle. The more you know about the OR operations, the better you can support them, work with them, and negotiate changes with them. And these changes can benefit them and you if you do it right. Good luck negotiating quality with them if you have no idea how their operations work. They are going to quickly dismiss you if you do not know how to meet them halfway. It's not personal, it's business. And in the OR, the business is booming. This leaves little patience for ignorance. Start establishing relationships with the OR. Work to be able to shadow a surgical tech and observe procedures, even if it is on your own time. Number 6, you need to know every possible part of the job so that you know it to the point where you can train anyone in every position. Knowing the job and the intricacies of every task is the first step in quality improvement. Do not be the leader who directs changes in tasks or the way things are done when you have no idea how it's done right now. That's so fucking frustrating when leaders do that. Again, if you don't know how to do it properly, you're gonna fail when you try to improve it. But this is also very important because when something like Joint Commission comes to town, you're the one who are escorting them through the department and answering the majority of their questions. So knowing not only helps you prepare for that, but also helps you to observe and catch mistakes that your techs are making so that you can provide remedial training in the moment to consistently prepare for Joint Commission, but also have patient safety. There's going to be times where Joint Commission is observing a task with you of one of your people, and then they might turn to you and say, "Did you see what they did wrong?" And I hope to God you can answer that, because if they've already noticed the tech did something wrong, and then now you can't even see what they did wrong, they see that this is a systemic problem. Know the job. And lastly, number 7, this is very important. You need to have a long-term strategy for quality in your sterile processing department. And what I mean by this is leaders want you to be able to prove to them why you can safely and responsibly do the job, but they also want to know that you will make the department better, more efficient, and more cost-effective in the long run. And I'm not talking about the obvious quick fixes or failures that you're noticing in the department right now. You should have already pointed these out. If you bring those up and you haven't done anything to fight or fix for those, you're just basically tattletelling on yourself. It doesn't matter if you're not the leader. If you know and you're not pointing it out, you're part of the problem. If you start pointing that stuff out in a job interview, it's gonna automatically start discrediting you as a leader and question your integrity. That's not good. And what I mean by this is if you say, I would change the way we're doing DART tests because we've been doing them wrong this whole time. Oh boy. They're going to want to know why you didn't report this and why you allowed this risk to continue. There is a chain of command. Let's say you did report it to your boss and they refused to change it. What did you do next? Did you report it to quality? Did you report it to infection prevention? Did you report it to the director? Or did you just stop? And let me tell you something, leaders don't just stop. They fight for what's right. So if you haven't proven that quality and you say something like this, you're not getting hired. You need big ideas for performance or quality that take substantial time to complete, and not the projects that require more manpower or more money. Manpower and money is the easy solution to supposedly solve every problem. And you know what? Everyone who goes to leadership with a problem 90-something% of the time always says, if I had more manpower or if I had more money, I could do it. But how much creativeness have you put into it to see what else can I squeeze out of this or change before I have to move to more manpower or more money? If you say anything that automatically has to do with more manpower or more money, you've lost the momentum in your interview. They, as in the leadership, want to see creativity and ingenuity, not a leader who approaches everything by asking for more manpower and more money. And don't get me wrong, there is a time when you need more manpower and more money, and you can find ways to prove that. But you also need to present the evidence of everything you've done in spite of that to try to avoid that option. Think of ideas of maybe there's things you're doing right in sterile processing, but in the long term, there's best practice that you want to get to. How are you going to get to best practice? Maybe one of your quality improvement goals is to not only be the best department, but to actually get ISO certified in your department. Look for big quality goals like that. They don't say that you're wrong. They just say that you can be better. I really hope this video helped you guys out. I hope that it set your brain in motion to think about how you can make the changes you need to get promoted. And don't forget, if formal training is something you need, which is critical, hit that first link in the description. It's easy, it's fast, and it honestly is an excellent program to learn a ton about sterile processing. And it's all based off of the new a.m.e. and the new CRCST manual, the 9th edition. Any topics or videos you want to see, don't hesitate to put those in the comments down below. I love you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.